I'm a daughter who chooses to not have a relationship with my mother, and it's been that way for the last year. And I made the decision recently to allow my son to have a relationship with her. And understandably, you guys have questions about that, so let's get into it. The big thing I want to talk about in this video is the boundaries that I set from the jump in regards to my mother seeing my son, the boundaries that I set for myself, the boundaries that I set for him, and the conversation that he and I had before he went to see her for the first time, and the conversations that we continue to have every time he sees her. Most of you already know that the straw that broke the camel's back for me was when my mother made an unsafe decision in regards to my daughter's safety. She drove my less than 2-year-old daughter in the front seat of her car without a seatbelt. So boundary number 1 is that my mother is not allowed to see my daughter, and that boundary will not be changing. My son has asked if his sister can go with him to his grandmother's house. The answer is no. And I have to deal with the disappointment from him with that. And that's okay. I'm his mom, not his friend right now. The next piece that I want to talk about is that my mother is not allowed to drive my children anywhere. Before my son went to her house for the first time a couple months back, I did send her a message basically saying, hey, you're not allowed to drive him anywhere. I would prefer that the visiting stay at your house and nowhere else. Before he has gone to her house, I tell him, hey, if she asks if you want to go for a ride in the car, all you have to do is say, you have to ask my mom about that, because she knows that I have already said no and she's not allowed to manipulate my son. So even though I haven't said to my almost 7-year-old, hey, don't let grandma manipulate you, I'm doing my best to control the circumstances around that. And the last boundary I want to talk about in this video is that I do not get out of my car when I go to drop off my son. And I told my mom I was going to do this. I told her that the focus was going to be on him going to see her and the joy that comes around that, and that I was not going to be getting out of the car at all. I pull up to her driveway, he hops out, goes in, I make sure he makes it onto her porch safely and that she comes out the front door, and then I leave. Same deal when I go to pick him up. I have 0 in-person interaction with my mother, and I like it that way. And I also want to finish this video with this little tidbit. Somebody said, if you decided that your mother was not a safe person for you, then she's probably not a safe person for your child either. And while I understand where that is coming from, I want you to hear me. I was a child who was denied a relationship with my grandparents, and it hurt. I don't want that for my kids. And I also want to tell you guys that my husband was extremely close with his grandfather. But before my husband was born, his grandfather was not a good father. And my mother-in-law set a boundary with him when she was pregnant with my husband and said, hey, I'm pregnant, you're having a grandson, but if you don't get it together, you will never see him. And his grandfather shaped up to be in his life. It didn't change the hurt he had caused throughout my mother-in-law's entire life, but it did allow my husband to have a beautiful relationship with his grandfather up until he died. That's the goal. I'm breaking cycles over here, not continuing generational trauma. And I hope you'll come along for the ride with me. This is your reminder that you are loved, kind, and smart, and you can do hard things.